Good evening, everyone. Finally, we are live for WOR Legacy Division. Welcome along, everyone, of course, to Legacy Division. We are here tonight for round number 7 of the championship as we take in the Belgian Grand Prix from, of course, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, otherwise known as the Dinosaur Track. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Tuesday evening. Hope you are all keeping well. And joining me in the comment box, as if he's appeared from absolute thin air, it is Mr. Joseph F1. Joe, how you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. I hope you're well as well. It has been a little while since I've been here, but, always happy to fill in for the Legacy Division. Undoubtedly, the best of the tournament action that we have on console. So, as you said, Spa-Francorchamps, a brilliant track. Produced some historic moments in the WOR Legacy Division. May it do the same tonight.
Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it does. Belgium, of course, historic in its nature, of course, not only in Formula 1, but also in Legacy Division as well. Let's have a look then at, of course, what happened last week in Saudi Arabia. And, well, it was just a PSR 1-2 or Parnell Racing 1-2, whatever you like to call them. It is Reese Linton out on top from Kai Pearson in second. A fantastic 1-2 for them. They really took the fight to F7R last week. Tycho there in third was completely in the mix. And in the end, top 4 covered by a second out on track comes to show how close the racing was around there. Joe Murphy picking up his highest result of the season as well. Nando and Ryan, OP had a little bit of a danger moment in qualifying with Nando having a little bit of a swipe at one of the block cars. Ryan there in 7th as well. So OP are actually tied on points coming into tonight. But Joe, after last week, Reese and Kai once again. Reese and Kai fighting out each other, of course, in console tier 1. Taicho Magician up there. It should be very interesting tonight because we've got the same drivers pretty much racing again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a thrilling race, and those deltas do really indicate that. And of course, level on points now, Parnell Racing, or the unnamed entity, as they are still liking to refer themselves as. But, this is absolute crunch time now in the championship. Of course, 3 wins apiece between Outplayed Racing and Parnell Racing. Can each one of them get their 4th on the board? Or could we have a new challenger? I know that seems unlikely considering the gaps that those two teams have brought up. But, Novus Racing in behind, F7R as well, with Tycho Hardy back in the action tonight looking for his 4th Legacy Division win.
Yeah, definitely so. And looking at the standings there, of course, from last week in Saudi Arabia, well, I've got to say the driving standings were absolutely sublime throughout the field. So well done to everyone that raced last week. Hopefully more of the same tonight in Belgium. Let's hope. Outplayed Racing leading the way on 215, along with Parnell Racing, also tied on 215. So it is tied on points for the front two. Novus Racing in 3rd and 166. F7R in 4th and 142. Bunga Racing Team in 5th. Good result, of course, last week from both of their drivers, Magician and Joe Murphy. They're in 5th and 111, overtaking Team Jazoo, who run an only Xbox lineup here tonight, going back to their Season 1 days. G-League there in 7th on 98, then ET8 in 8th on 75, NLR in 9th on 74, and then Future Racing Team there in 10th on 55 points as well. Let's have a look then at who is going to be racing here tonight. That is the wrong thing. There we go. We've got the Parnell Racing Team in with Sam Gamer and Matthew. I will take you live to Sam Gamer very soon indeed. Markadors and Moba in for OP. Agonize and Hazara there. One Xbox, one PlayStation for the ET8 team. Agonize and Hazara teaming up there for ET8. Ghost King and Enzo fully PS lineup for GL. Taicho Yozzy even for F7R. Arch and M Racer, the two Shazoo guys, of course, from Xbox back in the day as well, from Season 1. Joe Murphy and Furious are in for BRT. Justin and Raptor are in for FRT. Keki and Marlon in for NLR. And Bowman and Axe there in for NVR. No changes, I do believe, to the lineup either. And we can take you on track right about now. Belgium, I normally show off the track map around here. But let's run a ball with Sam Gamer, who's a 30 flat in the first sector. The Red Bull now coming through the right-hander of Malmedy on the run down now in towards Bruxelles, famously named, of course, after the capital of Belgium, which is Brussels, or just give it a fancy name, a fancy French name at that. The Sam Gamer now comes through the left-hander of Jackie X corner on the run down in towards Q1. And Sam Gamer looking so far so good. He's one of the only drivers, I think, apart from Enzo and Hazara, that are actually out there on that Telesoft compound tyre. So could see changeable conditions as we go through the sessions.
Yeah, quite possibly. But around here as well, you don't quite have a lot of time, relatively speaking, to really faff around on the intermediate tyres. Of course, it's a long out lap, giving the longest lap time of the season as well, around about the 1 minute 41s for these guys. Sam Gamer official aiming for that straight away in Q1, giving himself a banker time, of course. That's an intermediate time from OP Mubarak, doing a 1 minute 46.0. He'll now have to go back around again to get back in the pit lane, but Sam Gamer taking on the final corner now. It's the bus stop chicane, of course, straightens up the exit, short run up to the line, and there is the 1 minute 41 I was talking about, and he hits the nail on the head. That does 0.0.
Yeah, very good lap time from him. Not so good from Hazara, though. Just invalidating there, coming out the exit of Jackie X corner. He's just invalidating through there on the run down in towards Puon. Isaac George there, who is a very much an NVR fanboy there, I think, in the chat. Going to the rocking all over the world with Bowman and Axe once again, which is very good to see. Novus Racing and BRT, I think, famously meeting each other in pro clubs, which you know all about, Joe, from last night.
Oh, that was a brilliant occasion on Saturday. It was bringing everybody together for a good old game of pro clubs. But less about that. The highlights are on my YouTube channel, just to plug the scene right there. But no, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, two teams collaborating there. And well, they won't be working together tonight. They will once again be up against each other. Fifth in the standings, Bunga Racing team, you mentioned, on 111 points, scoring their best points haul of the season last time out in Saudi Arabia with that 4th and 5th place finish. And I think that was mighty impressive considering the standard that was on display last week, including Sav, Kai, and of course Taisho in P3 as well. So to finish behind the big three, you could argue, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. G-League, of course, looking to try and get up there in terms of the standings here tonight. Enzo, one of their drivers out on track. Formerly, I think, VRT back in the day was Enzo. Comes now through the right-hander of Bruxelles in toward the left-hander now of Jackie X on the run down in towards Puon. And Enzo looking quite good. He's slightly off on Sam Gamer through the first sector, so don't take these laps early on. We will get, though, everyone on a set of soft compound tyres a little bit later on as well. F7R as well, saying with Davey in the Discord, it is all dry for qualifying on the race. So it's interesting, actually, Sam Gamer going out on a set of soft compound tyres. Enzo also on a set of softs. I thought they would have actually came out in a set of inters first, maybe saved the set for Q3 especially, and then take it forward from there. But Enzo pretty much on par with what Sam Gamer was setting in the middle sector with the 113 flat. Now on the run up to the hill in toward Blanchimon. Blanchimon, of course, the fastest corner on this track, as he now comes through the left-hander of turn number 17 into the bus stop chicane, which has had multiple runs in terms of multiple changes, of course, over its lifetime. Used to be hay bales back in the day in the 80s. He now comes through the final corner, does the Frenchman of Enzo on the run to the line, and he goes second fastest, 0.2 of a second off Sam Gamer. I think that first sector telling in terms of his lap time. But Sam Gamer out on top, Enzo there in second, about there in third. Baz saying in the chat as well and asking me thoughts on a 4 in a row, James. Interesting call, I think, from Baz, potentially. Could be a 4 in a row. I think OP potentially could come back tonight. They've got Markadors in. They've got the other man, Mubarak, in as well. Mubarak has had a wretched season in PSGL. Markadors, of course, with OP Gate and everything that has gone over in the weeks on PSGL. Markadors looking to try and get back to form. OP looking to try and get back to form. They were 6th and 7th last week, of course, Joe. How are they going to fare tonight?
Yeah, I mean, 6th and 7th, I mean, on paper seems like a bad result, but we mustn't forget that they scored nothing in Qatar. So to just get something back on the board last week was really, really important for them. But, you know, they need to do better than that. After that Parnell Racing 1-2 finish, nothing separates them. They know the target. They've just got to beat Parnell Racing outright on track for the remaining 8-9 races, or however many we've got left now. So yeah, indeed, it's going to be a feisty one.
It is going to be a feisty one indeed. I'm just trying to see who might be first on a run. I think Yozzy, potentially, is going to be first on a run. F7 Alman, of course, who's really came alight. We saw in Console T1 at the back end of the last game cycle. He really shone through, especially in Saudi Arabia, of course, where he took that race win in Console T1. Now on the run in towards turn number 1, down in towards Blanchimon? La Source in towards turn number 1. Famously where Grosjean, Hamilton, Alonso made contact in 2012. Now comes down the hill in towards the infamous section out on track in towards turns number 2 and 3. That's a Rouge, and that's Radion actually at the top of the hill from the F7R man, who now comes up the hill through Kemmel Corner, down the Kemmel Straight. Dutch fans on the left hand side will be cheering on his teammate as he passes through in about 5 seconds time as Yozzy comes through the first sector split, and it's a 30 flat once again in the first sector. So consistent 30 flats from the 3 guys that we've seen so far on that set of softs. Sam Gamer and Enzo including that. Halfway through as Yozzy all out of shape coming out of Malmedy. Halfway through the session, Sam Gamer out on top, Enzo in second, Mubarak there in third. But this is all going to chop and change in the next probably about 3 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, indeed. I was just watching Taicho there in the first sector. He had half a tenth up on Yossi after Sector 1, almost exceeding track limits there on the exit of Puon as they tried to flick it in almost flat out. Next up then, Lafania, turn 12 and 13, really riding the curve on the right, then through the left into what is now Stabilo. Turn number 14, it's a flat out right-hander to come now for turn 15. Again, just clipping that curve, not running too wide there because you can bottom out and be met by a tyre barrier on the outside. Making way there, one of the Alpines there, it looked like. Could just see the smidge of blue in the mirrors. Flat out through Blanchimont and setting his sights on the braking point for the bus stop chicane. You can already see the rubber being laid down as these cars do have a tendency to lock up, whether that be front or rear tyres. But Yossi round in the final corner. Does he go quickest? Yes, he does, by a tenth of a second over Sam Gamer. Taicho, though, who was up on his teammate, can he better him? Ooh. Not quite. It was Yossi with the upper hand in the final 2 sectors, and he's first.
Yeah, first indeed. Big invalidation, by the way. Matthew Hall invalidated. Of course, formerly NOX Sindri, now part of the Parnell Racing team, as we're still calling them here in Legacy Division. Would have been a 40.8 for Matthew Hall, so he would have actually gone quicker by a tenth of a second over Yossi. Taichel there in third for now. Markadors is on a lap as well. He's coming through Blanchman 112.751, so actually off on Yossi in that middle sector. But looking good is the man, of course, from the Outplayed Racing team. Of course, was in championship contention and PSGL last week as well in the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi before all of that happened. As Markadors now comes through the left-hander of turn 19 on the run toward the line with Markadors, and he goes quickest by 0.04 of a second from Yossi in second. Taichel there in third, and I'm just going to look very, very smug at this stage as Axe is now coming toward the line. It's a top 6 for PlayStation. Oh, actually, as soon as I say that, Axe has just gone 6, and Mubarak now goes quicker, so it is a top 6 for PlayStation at least.
Look at that between the two Outplayed Racing drivers. 1,000th in it between the two of them. That is the consistency they love to see down there. They have the upper hand on F7R. A little bit of 2x2 Noah's Ark going on up there. Matthew Hall has got again, but he's miles off the track at Puon and takes the easiest invalidation you'll ever see. There was also a significant invalidation for M-Race, who's now back in the pit lane as well. We'll have to jump on to a second set of tyres. FRT with the slowest 2 meaningful laps at the moment, as Axe F1, I think, was going again. I think he backed out in the final sector of his previous one. Matthew Hall invalidated again. It's ETA Agonized, the final car on a flying lap, his first of the session at the moment, rounding the bus stop now. Mercedes foot to the floor and up to the line. Where can he go? He goes P11, so bettering the 2 FRT drivers, but by no means safe.
Yeah, by no means safe indeed. Joe Murphy currently in the hot spot for the danger zone at the minute, 46.1. Currently on his best time. Mubarak though out on top. Markador second. Yossi in third. It's the age-old story of OP against F7R. And if that carries on, I'm looking forward to how Q3 might progress out on track as well between these guys. Mubarak 1,000 quicker than Markador. Of course, Mubarak has been on holiday end by. Missed the final race of the season in PSGL. But Markador's looking to try and get up there as well, along with Mubarak. F7R third and fourth, of course, with Yossi and Taicho. Marlon, though, came alive last week, I've got to say, in the PSGL season finale. In 5th position, took a podium that day as well. The AlphaTauri has had a phenomenal run of form for NLR. He's there in 5th, and again, his form there, Joe, is right there and thereabouts, because Taicho is, 400ths quicker. He's quicker than Sam Gamer, and that is very good form going in towards the silly season in esports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if NLR are picking on form, I think they've done a very good job to get him in for tonight. It's a strong start he's made here in Q1. We've often seen cases of drivers being in form, coming into the WOR Legacy Division, and then getting a result on top. So NLR, obviously down the order, not where they'd like to be, down at P9 in this championship, in a really tight-knit race with ET8 as well. Just 1 point in between those two. Be looking for a big leapfrog and potentially getting in towards that top 7 sort of area. So, yeah, like I said, good choice.
Yeah, very good choice indeed. Looking through as well, we had a race around here in Belgium that I commentated on Wednesday. F7R, I'm very glad they haven't actually put F7R Kian out there, to be honest, because Kian, in that race on Wednesday that I commentated on in PlayStation, 39.9 was pole position. In an 18-minute qualifying session, albeit, but a 39.9 from Kian on that day. Taicho, I think, was a 40.2. So if that's any reference, that's what we could be looking at potentially in terms of the quickest lap times as we go through the sessions. But Mubarak out on top, Marco in second, Yossi there in third. Not often that you see, though, Joe. Arch, Matthew Hall, and M Racer all in the bottom half of the five that are currently going out in Q1. Yet to get a lap time in. Joe Murphy, of course, in the danger zone there in 15. He hasn't gone on for another run on a set of softs as Taicho there retires from the session. But not often you see Matthew Hall and Arch, I think, under so much pressure. One invalidation, and it's going to put them completely on the back foot. They've got 3 minutes to go. The lap times are hardly going to be pressing in. So Arch and Matthew Hall need this lap. Otherwise, it could be game over.
They do have the time on the clock for 2 flying laps, should they need it. But I think the fuel load on board is only going to be for 1 flying lap. Of course, you can run it very, very light around here. I think 2.2 laps is the minimum. So we've got to watch very, very carefully. Ghost King starts his final flying lap. Arch joins him as well, but some big, big Xbox names in that bottom 3 at the moment. Drivers that I know very well, M Racer being one of them, who does explicitly say how much he's been struggling with qualifying and does need to get it right to ensure a good starting position for the race. But racing up to the top of Radion then, there's a few cars to get out of the way of Arch. If one of those puts a foot wrong, again, Arch could be out here.
Yeah, he could be out indeed. Ghost King, though, on the run down in towards Malmedy and Bruxelles. Looking quite good, actually, on this lap so far. M Racer coming towards the end of the first sector as well, along with Matthew Hall. 30 flat from M Racer, so not too bad, actually, from M Racer. I would have liked that to be a little bit quicker, though, from his perspective. Matthew Hall in the first sector, 30 flat, and he was even slower than M Racer. So Matthew Hall potentially going to be in trouble, I think, by the end of this qualifying session. He is off the time. He's around Sam Gamer, Keki, Furious. That sort of area right now. Everyone improves to that sort of level. The likes of Liam Bowman, Enzo, and Agonize included. It could potentially mean Matthew Hall and Arch and the likes are going to be out potentially of contention in the session. Ghost King, by the way, 112.9 in the middle sector, so slightly off for G-League. Could potentially mean that one driver is currently out on track. Marnik giving the love there to Justin in the chat, and Bass Bramer saying Traffic Paradise Season 2. I totally agree with that. It is a traffic haven around here in Belgium as Ghost King now comes in towards the full stop chicane at turns 18 and 19. Oh, Baz, a bit of a rear lock there coming through the right-hander, now through the left at bus stop, on the run toward the line, and I think it could be potentially out 141.240, a hundredth but slower than Bowman. Somehow Arch fits into the gap right in between them both. Ghost King, I think, with that lap is definitely in trouble. Matthew Hall as well, 30.9 underneath that bridge section there. He's looking a bit under pressure. Coming down through the left-hander of the final corner. We'll see what the bus stop chicane can throw up with Matthew Hall on the run to the line to 41.1. Is that realistically enough, though, to get him through into Q1? There's a lot of improvements still to come. Raptor, Axe, and Hazara. But Matthew Hall, 9th position. Has he done enough?
Well, I'm not sure, really. Joe Murphy has just gone 10th. He was down in the drop zone, having only done an intermediate lap. That now pushes Agonized in, the retired Agonized, into the bottom 5. The 2 FRT drivers left it late, and Axe F1 as well, who's been in fine form, his best run of form over in Crossplay Tier 1, finishing 4th, then 2nd, then 5th, I think, or the other way round, is on a run as well. Hazara has got work to do as well, making his way down in towards Eau Rouge and Radion. They've got a fair way of the 7-kilometre long circuit to go here. 4 drivers all looking to scrape out, and whilst all that is going on, Enzo is doing everything he can to steer well clear of that bottom 5 on the cusp in 15th, looking really to put his teammate at risk. Not that he wants to do that, but G-League need a car in qualifying 2 here. Yeah,
they do. He might have to put his own teammate, I think, to get a car for GL into qualifying 2, and he's a 10th and a half up through the middle sector, so Enzo's looking pretty good. Justin definitely won't be making it through into Q2 because he invalidated through the first sector, so Justin, unfortunately, out of the session. They're down in 18th. He is definitely confirmed as out. Actor's down on lap time as well. He's now coming through the middle sector. responds. 1.2 seconds up. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. That's one of the Alfa Romeos, I think, of M-Racer, I think that was, getting out of the way. But we're vulnerable with Enzo, coming in through the bus stop chicane. On the run to the line then with the Frenchman. Does he go quicker? Yes, puts it up to 7th. He is definitely safe. Matthew Hall is dropping down along with Joe Murphy. M-Racer as well. In trouble potentially. Ghost King is off the track as well, doing a bit of grass mowing. Supply Raptor now on the run to the line. He goes 16. Puts Agonize out for sure. Raptor is also out. Ghost King is scraping through. Axlo goes 4th. And Hazara's on the lap as well. Can the Norwegian, the former TNR man, coming in toward the final couple of corners, can he now put PSR Arch out of qualifying 2? Out of qualifying 2? Yes, he can! Arch is out! Hazara goes 13th, and Shazoo, they relied on the Xbox pairing. M-Racer in the end is 15th and barely scrapes through, but PSR Arch, huge shock, I think, potentially from Season 1, certainly. Team Shazoo had absolute the world at their feet. They finished 4th, I think, that season. Arch, though, out in Q1, and Shazoo, have they made the right decisions by swapping out some of their drivers for Xbox, guys?
Well, I'm not too sure. Maybe they just left it too early there, actually, to go out. Didn't really give themselves something to aim for with the number of drivers that were still out there and yet to improve. But a big lap, actually, at the end there by F1, shooting up from 19th all the way up into P4. Hazara as well from rock bottom to 13th. So that just shows maybe what a bit of patience could have done, but they needed that buffer to be able to go again. That's what they banked on, I think, and it's cost one of their drivers dear. Those Pop-Tarts that Arch had before the session were no use, I'm afraid.
No, definitely no use indeed. But by the way, whoever has Pop-Tarts before the stream, I totally agree with you. Well done on you. Mubarak though out on top for Markadors in second, 1,000th of a second, covering the top 2 guys, of course, from OP. Yossi there in third. Axe managed to improve up to 4th, by the way, so actually split the F7R guys. Taicha there in 5th on his return to PlayStation once again. Moron in 6th, Sam Gamer in 7th, Enzo there in 8th, Keki in 9th, and Alar getting both their drivers through as well. Liam Bowman there in 10th position, the Flying Scotsman from Furious in 11th, Matthew Hall in 12th, Hazara there in 13th, Joe Murphy 14th, M-Racer, as I say, scraping through podium set of in the past here in Belgium. Arch, Ghost King, Supply Raptor, Agonize, and Justin being the 5 out even. FRT having both of their drivers out there in Q1 as we now go forward into qualifying 2 out on track as the conditions were beginning to brighten up towards the end of the session. I have been promised it is a dry race and qualifying session here for Q2 and 3. That is proven now as we go out on track for Q2, and with 15 minutes on the clock, Joe, this is where we really get to see what the drivers are made of.
Yeah, absolutely. Will they go on a scrub set to start the session, or will those that only got through on one set of soft tyres just go straight out and prove their worth? Well, time will tell. It did get a little bit overcast halfway through Q1, but like you mentioned, the rain has stayed away. We do get quite a lot of quick changes in the weather conditions due to the long circuit, the low cloud cover here in the Ardennes Forest. So if it does stay well away, we're going to get some super quick lap times.
Yeah, we are. Are we going to get a 39.9, I wonder, though, for any of the guys out on track? That's what I'm holding on my breath, certainly. Matthew Hall, though, one of the first out on track. He's going to be coming out of the pit lane very soon. Indeed, Sam Gamer and Marlon, though, are the first 2 out on track. And, of course, reminder of what has happened in the past here in Legacy Division here at Belgium. Season 2, last season, Tycho Hardy took the victory, so he is a bit of a Belgium specialist. I've loved commentating on him around here as well. Tycho in the field here tonight. He took the victory, of course, for Talent Factory last season. M-Racer in second, barely scraping through this time around in Q2. He is in Q2, luckily. And Elite Risks picking up, I think, SLR's one and only podium last season as well. In Legacy Division before that, some guy called Otis Lawrence won in Season 1 for FRA. Sav finished in second, Champion-elect potentially in Console Tier 1 this season. And Skyver finished in third for PSR as well. PSR, the only team, actually, to take a double podium. The rest being, of course, Talent Factory, VSR, SLR and FRA around here as well. But we have got the first drivers out on track, of course, for Q2, a 7-kilometre length circuit, 154 kilometres away now. Drivers out on track, of course, in the race. Lap record still held about round here by Valtteri Bottas in 2018 with a 1:46.286. And 1950 was the first ever race around here with Juan Manuel Fangio, the legend Argentinian driver, winning in the Alfa Romeo. Are we going to make more legends here tonight, Joe? Only time will tell.
Well, I hope so. It is the legacy division. You are meant to do what the first bit says and create a legacy. So, again, it is going to be a different teams that wins, of course, as we know from FRA and Talent Factory. F7R, very similar to Talent Factory. I know the band wanted to get back together really following the PSR TF merge and then ultimately the closure of PSR. They've now got a little bit of independence back, a little bit of firepower back to maybe close in on this 73-point deficit to Outplayed Racing and Pardal Racing at the top of the championship. It is Marlon out there first, the driver that you said was in very fine form. He's, of course, going to set the first lap of the session and lay the benchmark for the other 14.
Yeah, he is indeed. Coming up the hill through Erosion Radion, now through Camel Corner, running down the Camel Straight, and he is looking like he's on a scrub sector. I can tell for the right side tyre that it looks like he's on a scrub set at least. 30 flat in the first sector. Normally you can't tell through the first sector, but rides the curb very, very aggressively, I've got to say. Coming through Lake Holm, now out of Malmedy on the run down the hill in towards Bruxelles. Francesco saying in the chat, is Daddle Frankie driving? He is not, unfortunately. I'd love to see Frankie driving out on track, because quite frankly, I'm not sure he'll be able to put the bottle in for 39.9. But Marlon in towards the left-hander of Pouon, pretty much halfway through the lap then at this point from Marlon. The NLR man runs wide coming through Pouon. That's an invalidation. Disappointing start from the German. Next up as well and behind, I think, was Sam Gamer on a lap. We'll run on board with him on the run down in towards Pouon as well. And Sam Gamer was looking a little bit quicker than him through the first sector, but Sam Gamer again, another one that decides to go a little bit wider at Pouon, takes that thinner line, now into the Fania chicane. Looking pretty good, I've got to say, from Sam Gamer on this lap. Rides the curve nicely, coming out through the left-hander, and then through the right-hander in towards Campos, of course, named after the legendary F2 business owner course of Campos Racing. 112.7, pretty much on par with what we've seen in the first session, so I think he is on a used set of compound tyre as now comes in towards the left-hander of Blanchimont and looking very, very quick as he does so. Can reach 200 mile an hour coming through this corner. Now on the run toward the bus stop chicane. Of course, Hay Bale's back in the 80s. Murray Walker once said, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does, as Sam Gamer now comes through the final corner on the run to the line. And Sam Gamer, about a 41 flat, I think this will be. 40.9 from Sam Gamer. Not a bad lap, not the quickest though.
It isn't indeed. Joe Murphy, second then, 141.4, so again indicating potentially a scrub set of tyres for him. Mubarak, though, a 140.7. That is more like it, and that is our quickest lap time of the evening so far. So, again, a driver that went through with one set of soft tyres in Q1, straight out there, setting the pace, 40.7. You mentioned Murray Walker, actually. Side note, happy 100th birthday. I'm sure he's watching WOR Legacy Division tonight. He's not. He's certainly enjoying something else with all the legends up there, but yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, definitely. So Murray Walker was one of the commentators that got me into the business, that got me into actually thinking, you know what, I'll give this a try on I think it was a 5-lap open lobby, and then realised, yeah, I pretty much enjoy this, and then look where I am now, 10 years on from that moment, as M Racer now comes in towards turn number 1, and of course, with that Murray Walker echoing, I'm sure, in the voice of me. I'm more like a David Addison, to be honest, but there we are. Back on top from Sam Gamer second, Joe Murphy in third. M Racer, though, is on a lap, so we're going to try and use a little bit of Murrayism as he's now come through Erosion Radion once again on this lap with the German. Of course, the German that picked up a podium around here last season as well, and we'll see what the man can do in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, now part of Team Shazoo, the only Shazoo man actually in through, and it's a 29.9 in the first sector. Pretty much on par with the fastest we've seen all night.
Indeed. There he goes, wide at Malmedy, and just as you handed the baton over to me, he goes and invalidates. Will he continue to push here? Because I think he'd quite appreciate a banker on the board, and yes, he will actually, so we can continue to just watch this lap as it progresses, using that outside curb at Pouon. In former games, he used to go onto the grass there, but that no longer a viable option, considering the mechanics of the grass on the tyres now, which, by the way, I must say, definitely an improvement on previous games as well. Bit of a rear-end slide coming through Stavolo now, onto the second part of the corner as well at curve Paul Frere, and will straighten his car up now for the long run in towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see what speed he hits as he turns into Blanchimont. 199, 201 miles an hour. just as he turns into the corner there, hugging that inside curb on the right-hand side, shortening the distance, and then to the very inaccurate bus stop chicane, climbing all over that inside curb, as we see them do in real life, less so in the F1 game, but M-Racer, what would his lap have been? A 1:41.0, definitely some time in that from the invalidation alone.
Yeah, definitely so. He would have been quicker, of course, than Joe Murphy by about 0.4 of a second. Only a tenth behind Sam Gamer that I would have been in this lap as well. Taja Hardy, though, invalidates coming through Puon. Every single person I seem to go on board with seems to be invalidating their lap time. Let's try with Markedos coming on the exit of Malmedy, and he's done exactly the same thing coming through there as well. Out of Jackie Ick's corner, Markedos invalidates. Nobody wants to actually bring me on a lap. Keki is coming through the first sector. Might actually be more wise to go on board with somebody just starting off their lap. Zendel there goes third with 41.1. Keki, though, purple apparently in the first sector. 29.9, I think that was in the first sector from the NLR man. The Alpha Male dipping out the way to the right-hand side, of course, is M-Racer. Mubarak Buad on top. Sam Gamer in second. Endo there in third. 6 minutes ago. Hardly any lap times on the board right now. Liam Bowman, I can see, is on a lap as well. He's coming through Campos, one of the furthest actually on the lap. 13.3 from the Flying Scotsman. And if he sets that, honestly, I could potentially out-qualify him with that middle sector.
Well, I've just seen as well, Keke invalidated on the exit of No Names from another one falling foul of the track limits, a drive that was going well in the first sector with a 29.9. Liam Bowman, what's he going to do here, of course? Axe F1 doing that very slow banker lap that he did in Q1 as well. It did pay off for him, going fourth in the session. Liam Bowman only 0.4 quicker, so again, indications that there is a lot of work to do for Novus Racing in their pursuit of qualifying 3. Nobody really set in stone at the moment, other than Mubarak, possibly Sam Gamer as well, the only two drivers into the 1:40 40s at this stage. Who is next up? I think we've got M-Racer. He's coming into the pits. Peke did a 41.1, and that was on an invalid lap with Taicho still to come at Puon. Still some laps to be set here.
Yeah, Hazard and the Norwegian, I think, for ET8 is on a lap. Sam Gamer there, sorry, Marlon there going second, so good lap from him. 1:12.8 though from Hazard in the middle sector, looking very good. Plenty of drivers though falling foul to the track limits around here. It's one of the most aggressive, I think, on this F1 game in terms of track limits. Hazard not proving that so far, luckily. I don't want to commentate his cursing, but he's now coming in towards the right-hander of the bus stop chicane. And remember as well that Murray Walker once said, and I also say, I don't make mistakes, I make prophecies which immediately turn out to be wrong. Hopefully this is not the case for Azara on the run to the line, and he goes fourth with a 41.1, so not a bad lap time at all there from the Norwegian. And actually out-qualified Enzo and Furious, and if you said to me Hazara would actually out-qualify them in Legacy Division, I would be pretty much, I think, getting over 5, I think, at this point in this qualified session so far. Taicha Hardy there is coming through in toward the pit lane as well in the McLaren. He's now coming back in. Matthew Hall, though, is a man with a lot of focus on him, barely scraping through into Q2. Red Bull up against it here tonight. What can Parnell Racing hope for? They've got Sam Gamer in third, pretty much comfortable, I think, at this point. Matthew Hall, though, has had invalidation after invalidation after invalidation. Pressure is really on from here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic considering how well he's been doing in cross-play Tier 1. 4 podium finishes, of course. Still, mathematically speaking, in the championship fight with 2 rounds to go. But in this qualifying, well, the full qualifying format, I should say, he's just not getting it right at this moment in time. One of those podiums, by the way, came at the Belgian Grand Prix. That was a 3rd place finish in extreme wet conditions, so a little bit different to what we had on that night. But away he is about to set off for his latest tour of this 7-kilometre long circuit, formerly on public roads, now one of the best motorsport facilities in the world. Then up towards turn number 1, then La Source, of course, referencing the source of the river. It's had 7 opening lap retirements in the 1998 Grand Prix. Hopefully we don't see a repeat of that tonight. Up to the top of Rally on a 35-metre elevation change. Bucket list stuff to go on stand at the top of there, but down in towards Les Combes corner now. Let's see how the first sector is doing at 29.9. It's competitive, but we usually can't tell too much from the first sector alone.
Yeah, definitely not 29.9. Pretty much on par with what we've seen, I think, throughout the session. The sun is out on track, so the track should be evolving, I think, at this point. But Matthew Hall now coming in towards Jackie Ick's corner, in towards this left-hander. Jackie Icks, of course, has got the runoff area on the left-hand side now in real life. On this game, it hasn't been updated, obviously. But Matthew Hall now in towards Puon. Doesn't actually opt to go a little bit wider onto the curb there. So we're actually taking the thin line, my line through there. He might have been watching some of my league races around here. But Matthew Hall coming in towards the right-hander and the left-hander of the Fania chicane. And now in towards Campos corner towards the end of this middle sector. This has looked a very solid lap so far for Matthew Hall. And a 1:12.4. Put it this way. Kean St. Peels is cooking. Liam Craig there in the chat saying that never let James cook. Matthew Hall is cooking out on track right now as he comes in toward the left-hander of Blanchimont. The Red Bull for Parnell Racing is on the run up the hill now in toward the bus stop chicane. He'll be hard onto the brakes from about 190 mile an hour into the braking zone through the right-hander, flicks it left into the bus stop chicane, shooting the quickest lap time we're going to see so far. Matthew Hall on the run to the line, goes quickest, 1:40.6, good lap time from him, and that is now confidence completely and utterly there for him.
Pressure? What pressure? P1 for Matthew Hall. M-Racer going for it once again, coming through Malmedy, had a bit of a slip-up there a little earlier on, but he's got it right this time. He's got another car in front of him. I think that is a Ferrari, and the only one out on track at the moment there is Marcados. Very, very close to that white line. On the exit, now Pilon corner, downhill, all the way through, turning in one big sweeping motion. A neck breaker for the real-life Formula 1 drivers, and of course, many single-seater categories. Again, all over these curbs at La Fania. Bit of a slide coming through the second part of it. Manages to grip the wheel tight and keeps it on the racetrack. 1:12.7 for the middle sector split. He'll get a minuscule slipstream for that pulled over AlphaTauri. No slipstreams officially allowed in the WOR Legacy division, but if somebody is moving slowly and you do get a helping hand, that is not to be punished. But 2 more quarters to go. The bus stop chicane. There's a slow-moving McLaren in front of him who's setting up his final flying lap. No impeding there, at least in my opinion, but up to the line comes M-Racer. Where does he go? He is in the 1:40s. It's a 0.8, 4th place he is, and perhaps still not very safe.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's safe with that lap time. I mean, we saw in Q1 the lap time's been set there. M-Racer would have actually made it very comfortably into Q2, I think, with that lap. Pretty much on par with what the OP guys were setting at the top end of the field. Bloody Northerners indeed there in the chat from you, Joe. But Matthew Hall out on top from Mubarak in second. Molan there in third. The drivers now send on to their final laps. Marco's taking a very wide line there in toward the bus stop. Let's find him up with Tycho Hardy. He's going to be the first one, or one of the first out on track. I think one of the Williamses are going to be first for Novus Racing. But Tycho coming through the left-hander there of Jackie Icks on the run down in towards Puon. And Tycho Hardy cooked around here on Wednesday at EML. Can he do the same again for F7 here tonight as now comes through the exit of Puon on the run in toward the Fania chicane as the time now ticks down below in toward the 3 minutes. Pretty much the session now done. Mubarak, the only one qualifier out, retiring out of the session. Everyone else, I think, is on a lap as Tycho now comes in toward the right-hander. 1:12.5, a 10th off Matthew Hall in that middle sector. So not looking bad at all. So Matthew Hall there leading the way from Mubarak in second. Molan there in third. Tycho, though, into the left-hander of Blanchimont, the fastest part of the track through 196 mile an hour carry to Sam Gamer goes quickest now. Parnell Racing 1-2, pretty much like last week, but Sam Gamer now, Tycho even, into the left-hander of the bus stop chicane, flicks it left out of the final corner on the runs line. Does he outperform Sam Gamer? No, goes third. F7 though, are cooking with that lap. Marlon invalid. M-Racer, of course, down on his lap. Hazara also invalid. Enzo now is on the runs line. He's 3/10 up on his lap as Matthew Hall there second. Yossi there going fourth. Enzo now goes fifth. G-League, I think, potentially, Joe, we've got one of their drivers in the lobby for Q3.
Hazara invalid then, and on the cusp of elimination, Furious out there in P11. Joe Murphy, I think, will be the next car to come around the final corner. He's got 2/10 up at the moment, I think. Can he find any more in Sector 3? No, he can't get through into Q3. Just missing out on Axe F1,
is in trouble.
who scrapes through with the same time as M-Racer. Marcados.
Oh my God.
Out. That's huge for the championship. It doesn't seem like it's that significant in qualifying, but Parnell Racing are now going to be full of confidence. 1 and 2 in Q2, and one outplayed racing driver failing to make it.
Let's just put it this way. Marcados was a 13 flat in the middle sector. 3/10 off what Enzo set on the lap time that I was on board with. So Markados has made a huge mistake somewhere out on track. 13th, that's unlucky for some. It could be lucky for him as he goes forward. OP though, Markados, a very rare mistake, and he is out in qualifying 2. The top 10 though that go through are Sam Gamer out on top from Matthew Hall in second. Well, it's just Sav and Kai, just with different names, I think, for Parnell Racing out top in 1-2. Taicha Hardy in third, Yossi in fourth. It looks like it could be Parnell against F7R now, potentially, in terms of Q3. Enzo there in fifth for G League, getting one of their drivers through. Fantastic stuff from them. Mubarak there in sixth for OP. NLR Marlon with NLR have got Marlon there in 7th, Liam Bowman there in 8th. Both Novus Racing drivers actually through, and M-Racer and Axe setting the same lap time as well from them both. 9th and 10th position. Joe Murphy out, Keki out, Markados out, Hazara out, and Furious out, and he's definitely going to be angry with that one. But it is Sam Gamer out on top, Matthew Hall in second, Tycho there in third. Now we get into the Master Prediction stage, as somebody has just put in the chat. We go through now into Q3, the final 10 about to do battle for pole position around here in Belgium. It is going to be very interesting indeed in terms of how this session is going to provide the action and how this is all going to cook out on track. But Fun and time has now started. Now, this is game time. This is their Super Bowl. Now, they've got to try and deliver the touchdown.
Saying in the live chat, he cooked. Well, the only thing you've cooked tonight is probably a pizza for a family of 3 at Domino's. So, shame about that one, Arch, but better luck next time. What else was I going to say? Ah, yes, Matthew Hall, P2 in Q2, Middlesbrough's finest. I'd rather not mention Middlesbrough to you because I think you'd end the stream after last Saturday.
I don't mind. I mean, we were down to 10 men from an absolute joke of a decision from the referee anyways, but I don't mind. Matthew Hall, though, is a Northeasterner, and I have total respect now for Northeast sim racers. Matthew Hall now included in that, so thank you. I'm going to use that in my commentary moving forward.
There you go. Happy to help. It's what I'll say there, but straight out on track, we've got 5 individuals more to join as well. I think there's actually only 1 car left there in his pit garage. It's Enzo, and he's making his way out there on track as well. No time to waste in Q3. Everybody giving each other a little bit of space. And I'm going to mention one thing as well. We've not had any grid penalties yet. Surely, with this being the longest circuit on the calendar, we don't get any.
I really hope not. This will be the first time I think I've seen in months, potentially, for no illegal blocking penalty that we're getting in qualifying, which will be remarkable, and I hope I haven't spoke too soon, because I can see a gaggle of 3 cars running down into what I come at the top of the hill, so let's hope that doesn't happen. Mubarak is the first man out on track, of course, freshly tanned up from his trip to Dubai, and the Swiss man even now coming in towards the right-hander of Stavilo. Put in the prediction, you guys, in the chat, who you think is going to get pole position. I am immediately going to say Sam Gamer for pole.
Yeah, Sam Gamer is just ridiculous, isn't he, when it comes to 1 lap pace. I think it'll be very difficult to beat him, which is why I'm going to say Taicho is going to get pole. That's just completely out of the blue. There's no empirical reasoning to that. I just think he'll go better.
Not the fact that he won around here last season?
Yeah, and that.
And that. Mubarak now on the run through the bus stop chicane. He is now on the run in towards the source once again as we start off on these final runs here in Q3. We'll keep the time and total on the left-hand side for the majority of this Q3 session, with there only being 10 drivers. It looks pretty nice as well. Mubarak now, if I just turn it off, as Mubarak now comes in towards the Rouge and then Radion, and we'll see what the OP man can do up the top of the hill, of course. And Invalidate's actually coming through the top of the hill. Very easy to do. Not often I see drivers then actually invalidate a lap through there in qualifying. So Mubarak has caught the inside curb, spins the car slightly over the curb, and that is him invalidate as Marlon now is setting up on a lap coming in toward Laycom. And we'll see what Marlon can do. 29.8 in the first sector already. The fastest first sector I think we've seen all night.
Yeah, that's certainly up there. Next up to hit that middle sector split, that first sector split, sorry, crossing over into the middle sector is M-Racer. So again, just to make these little comparisons, it's a 30 flat for M-Racer. So certainly the upper hand going to Marlon, who invalidates at the exit of No Name. We've seen that far too often tonight. He was very close to the wall, actually. You can do that in real life, not in the game. The track's not laser scanned.
Yeah, and Race has nearly done the same thing as well. He's actually managed to stay invalid, of course. David Coulthard and Michael Schumacher in 1998 famously making contact in the wet. And Murray Walker, I'm not going to repeat what he said on the on the live commentary that he did, but it was something like, "Oh my god," I'm not doing it in this squeaky voice either. But Race is now in towards the right-hander of Stavolo and makes a huge mistake actually on the exit at 13 flat in the middle sector. M-Racer, formerly VSR, now of course a part of Team Chazoo here for Legacy Division. M-Racer is really on the limit. He's made a mistake. Now going to put everyone on the back foot potentially. He now comes through into the left-hander of Blanchimon. Bell Roffick saying in the chat with a very wise prediction. I'm not sure who's told you that or who's paid you for that, but apparently saying as James head for pole position, which I wouldn't be surprised. I'm nowhere near these the level of this talent that we've got in Legacy Division, but a 41-2 from M-Racer going quickest. Not a bad lap there at all. In all seriousness, I think my lap time will probably be out. Sam Gamer now goes quickest with a 40.4, the fastest lap we've seen all night. But yeah, in all seriousness, in terms of my lap times, I think I'll be at the 107% rule, I think, at this stage in Q3, as Matthew Hall goes quicker.
They were both on 12.3s in the middle sector, which is why I was very excited to see how those two would stack up following that first flying lap. Taisho 2/10 behind them. That is an outstanding first flying lap apiece from the Parnell Racing duo. Marlon did an invalid 40.5, may I add. Another 40.6 for F7R, this time with Yossi. It's been very Noah's Ark tonight.
It has. It's been very Noah's Ark indeed. Yeah, 2x2 in Noah's Ark formation as they go. Yeah, Matthew Hall out on top. From Sam Gamer in second, Parnell Racing currently out on top, F7R third and fourth, OP of course tied on points with Parnell coming into tonight, 219 points I'm tempted to say is their list. It's 215, I was right the first time, 215 points for Parnell against F7R, or against OP in the standings. Enzo was on a lap, but I think he's actually backed off. He's running low on fuel. Marlon running low on fuel. Liam Bowman, the Flying Scotsman, was on a lap as well. I think he's backed off, though, in that first sector after invalidating. Mubarak now is going to be the next man to go up on a run. But Liam Boot is saying in the chat, here, PR against F7R. I likened it in Q1. I thought it was going to be OP against F7R against Parnell, but we can't have a three-way fight. Mubarak, though, with him topping the session in Q2, in Q1 even, has he got something to say now, potentially, especially because he's meant to be actually retired?
After all of those predictions on Twitter, now X, as we all know, but I don't think a driver of his caliber was ever going to hang up the controller following some pretty daft F1 predictions on Twitter. We know how good he is. We know how good he can be putting the pad players on to the map. That's what we like to see, of course, but he's got a task here. He's got a task being the only outplayed racing car in Q3, coming up against two Parnell Racing drivers who have looked absolutely unstoppable in this qualifying session. He's left it late for his first run. He might not even have enough time for a second run. When the yellow flag clears, we'll see exactly how much time he's got left. I think just under 5 minutes he's got. So timing this one pretty tight as Mubarak. It's this lap of all laps that has to count.
Yeah, definitely so. If he runs out of fuel on his down lap, by the way, might have not a chance to actually get another run in. So this is Mubarak's potential final run in this session. Runs over the grass there slightly, does a bit of low mowing as he comes through Kemmel corner. Now down the Kemmel straight in towards Lake Com. 29.9 in the first sector, not cooking at all through the first sector so far from Mubarak, and again, a bit of a mistake there through Malmedy. Runs it very nice, actually, coming through the exit of Malmedy out of Lake Com. Mubarak now down in towards Bruxelles. Looking pretty good, I've got to say, on this lap, but with that mistake, potentially, now going to bring him on the back foot. Runs wide there slightly, coming out of Jackie Hicks on the run now down in towards Pouon, pretty much halfway through the lap then at this point with him. Mubarak again, running wide, coming through Pouon, but Matthew Hall out on top. Sam Gamer second, Taito and third. Mubarak, I think he'll be fine. I'll say that very tentatively. I think he'll be fine in terms of the time. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. If he invalidates on this run, at least he can actually go for another run. Mubarak there, though, in 8th position. 112.3. in the middle sector. Huge middle sector from Mubarak. I don't know where this lap time's coming from. I've been absolutely on the limit in terms of this lap as well, but Matthew Hall out on top. Sam Game in second, Taicho in third. Mubarak is going to trouble the front two here, as now he comes in toward the bus stop chicane with 23% of ERS in his battery running out to absolute God's content, as now comes in toward the left-hander. Mubarak now through the final corners on the run to the line. Is he going to go quicker than Matthew Hall? Yes, he does! Where did he find that lap time from? Where did he find that middle sector from? Mubarak out on top. OP now taking the fight. And it could be the age-old battle between OP, F7R, and Parnell Racing here tonight. 3 minutes ago, Mubarak out on top. But has he got enough time to get round? I don't think he has.
That's a fantastic lap, but that is his session done. He will not have enough time to get back into the pit lane to do a final flying lap. So it's all down to the other 9 drivers, and don't count out Liam Bowman. He's not put a lap in yet. We know how good he is in qualifying trim. Pole positions to his name in, of course, Crossplay Tier 1. I believe he's got one to his name in the Legacy Division as well, but you'll have to correct me on that one. My lack of knowledge coming in there. We're just waiting on Axe F1 to join the circuit. When he does, we'll have 9 cars all out there setting up for a final flying lap here. And it all starts with M Racer, I believe it is, as he takes to the start-finish straight and into turn 1. Might catch up to some of these slow-moving traffic halfway around. Is that bit of a lock-up on the front right as he attacks La Source, but down in towards Eau Rouge and Radion then for the final time in qualifying at full speed, clipping a little bit of that inside curb on both turn 3 and turn 4, as it's officially known as down the Kemmel Straight, reaching speeds for around 210 miles an hour. Once again, the determiner, the first sector split line, 29.8, a 10th up on that 41.2.
Yeah, and he's a 10th up actually on Mubarak in terms of his lap time as well. So M-Racer looking pretty good so far. This middle sector, I think, is going to make or break his lap, though. Final sector is pretty much all speed and all straight. So M-Racer's got to now try and get the technical part right. Coming through the middle sector, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. On the limit, coming out of Jackie X, now in towards Puon. This is the lap now, as long as he doesn't invalidate over these next few corners. This is the lap that is going to potentially put him on pole position. M-Racer out on top. Mubarak out on top. Matthew Hall in second. Sam Game in third. Mubarak is done in terms of this session. Francesco saying in the chat that he doesn't think he's done enough. I don't think he has either. As M-Racer through the middle sector is a 1:12.5. So off on Mubarak in that middle sector. Got a lot of time to find, but he's negotiating the traffic there. I think there was Axe going a bit slow in terms of his lap time. But M-Racer now hitting the traffic at the worst point of the track. Coming out through Blanchimont. Luckily, he hasn't got anybody else ahead of him apart from the AlphaTauri there. Vento's just starting up on a final run.
No.
Nearly gets blocked there from the AlphaTauri as he comes into the final call. That was Molon just end up on the lap even. As M-Racer now on the run to the line. He'll be angry, but he goes ahead of Taicho, and I think that's where he was going to go anyways.
It was a visual distraction. That was one of the big debates when it comes to what actually classifies as impeding. There's not a lot the lone AlphaTauri could have done there, actually. He did try to go straight on towards that final corner at the bus stop, but that ship has sailed now. He can forget about that one and focus on his lap, but it might be playing on his mind ever so slightly. Next up to cross the line will be a long wait is Matthew Hall. Not quite aware of what his first sector split is looking like, but we've seen what Sector 2 can do to a driver's confidence to go on and attack Sector 3 into Stavolo then. What's the middle sector looking like?
Oh, yeah.
12.2, a 10th up. Here we go, James.
Here he comes, what I would like to call the smoggy on the run up towards a Blanchimont. He's going to do me in for that. Matthew Hall in toward the left-hander of Blanchimont. The Red Bull now up in toward the bus stop chicane. He is a very talented driver. Let's see if he can put it to the max now. Coming through into the bus stop chicane. Through the right, through the left. Now turn 19. On the run to the line. Surely going to be quicker than Mubarak. On the run to the line. He does barely 300ths of a second. Sam Game is 500ths up. He's one of the next to come across the line as well. When the Williams has come into the line, I think it's Axe 43.6, not 43.8 even. I think Liam Bowman it was actually just coming across the line. Enzo there not getting a valid lap time in either. But Sam Gamer now in towards the final couple of corners through the bus stop chicane. Is he going to go quicker and making a PR1-2? Is he going to now try and get himself between the mix on the run to the line? Oh, and he does. He goes quickest by about 200th of a second. M-Racer is done. Tycho Hardy is done. He's not going to be on pole position. Yossi at the minute is 2.5 tenths up and could feature in terms of this final sector. Yossi, the man who took pole position in Saudi Arabia last season, now comes through the final corner. Is F7O on pole position to the line? No, third position. Absolutely on the limit. He found every inch of that track as much as he could. Axel, I think, is on a run as well. He goes to the line. I think he improved massively there. Did actually goes 9th position in the end, so he did actually improve in terms of his lap time. Yossi in the end in 3rd. But a great qualifying session there, Joe. It is Sam Gamer out on top, Matthew Hall in 2nd, Yossi in 3rd, and at least one half of the commentary team is looking pretty smug.
Absolutely, and I'm not distraught about that at all. I mean, Yossi, I held my breath for him. Was he going to split the Parnell Racing drivers? Was he going to beat them both? And he misses out by 400ths. It is so close. The top 4, 600ths in it on the longest circuit on the WOR Legacy Division calendar. 4/10ths in that top line. Enzo unable to get a lap time on the board, but still starts an important 10th for G-League.
Yeah, definitely so. Sam Gamer out on top for Matthew Hall in 2nd, Yossi Mubarak, M-Racer, Tycho, Morlon, Liam Bowman, Axe and Enzo the top 10. We're going to go for a quick intermission break from our sponsors, Next Level Racing and GridFinder. We'll be back with you in about a minute and a half's time. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. The drivers have not hot-footed it luckily out on track, which means we've got a quick amount of time to run through the championship standings, of course, coming into tonight. Outplayed Racing, level on points with Parnell, and if that session is anything to go by there, Joe, in Q3, we are going to be in for an absolute treat between both of their teams, plus F7R.
A three-way fight for a race victory. Yes, please. Between 3 different teams, that is. We could see certainly some more drivers involved amongst that as well. But the state of play in the championship, F7R, big qualifying for them, despite just missing out at the front. They will want to start to close in. Novus Racing down in 8th and 9th in amongst that fight as well. Do not count them out from doing something a little bit different on the strategy, which should be a one-stop, but we'll soon confirm that.
Yeah, we will soon confirm that indeed. To run through the rest of the standings as well. Novus Racing in 3rd on 166, F7R in 4th on 142, Bunga Racing Team in 5th on 111, and Team Jazoo in 6th on 108. They had a bit of a 50-50 session there, to be honest, in Q2 and Q3 especially. G-League in 7th on 98, ET8 in 8th on 75, NLR in 9th on 74, Future Racing Team there in 10th on 55 points. We can only afford the top 10 once again on the graphic, but it is the current top 10 teams that we have got here, of course, in Legacy Division. We'll take you out on track just so we don't miss any more of the action. We are just sitting in the lobby right now. But what we are going to see out on track is hopefully some really good action out on track. Francesco saying in the chat as Kian saying in the chat, MOBA Crashgate. Now, I hope to God we do not see anything of the sort here tonight. We saw in Saudi Arabia last week, everyone drove to the limit, everyone was on fire, the driving standards were clean. Let's hope for more tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to ready up is the quote, so we should be going any second indeed. Clean racing is what we desire. Wasn't too shabby last week in Saudi Arabia, considering that is one of the notoriously worst circuits. Spa-Francorchamps, things can get a little bit desperate. Only 22 laps to play with. James, take it away.
5 red lights about to go out here in Belgium, and it is... Lights out, away we go here in Legacy Division, round number 7 of the championship, and Sam Gamer leads down in towards turn 1. Parnell already with the block as Matthew Hall tries to defend off Yossi in towards turn 1. It's too little too late though, because Yossi's up the inside line and gets second position off the start. So Sam Gamer leads the way. Yossi in second, Matthew Hall in third as they cascade their way down the hill. Liam Bowman and Marlon are side by side, coming through with Rouge and Radion right in the midfield. Joe Murphy and Enzo side by side through there. Everyone is clean, and now Novus racing on the attack with Axe on the back of Liam Bowman. Yossi on the back as well of Sam Gamer. Difficult to try and keep up with, but Yossi is side by side, coming round the outside into Woodlake. Doesn't get the job done, and Sam Gamer holds the lead. From Yossi in second, there's contact though, further down the field. Enzo was sent round, I think maybe with his own teammate there. In goes King. King certainly dropping down the field as well. Enzo there, pretty much out of the session already, coming now through Lake Combe, makes contact. M-Racer ahead of Mubarak. It's all going on the first lap. Sam Gamer leads, Yossi in second, Matthew Hall in third. PR's protection at the top, not good enough, because Yossi threw and he's into second.
Disaster for Geely, delight for Parnell Racing, and Sam Gamer holds on there superbly at the Lake Combe chicane, but Yossi was really going for it, wasn't he? Burning a little bit of battery to try and get in front there, but he split the two Parnell Racing drivers. They can work with this. M-Racer, who's on a set of medium tyres, has cleared Mubarak and might be in with a shout of this fight too. Liam Bowman on the back of Marlon here, pulls to the left-hand side. This is an audacious move already for Liam Bowman. He's cleared it before Blanchement, and that is one move down on that set of soft compound tyres. And here comes Taicho as well. Oh, a bit of movement there from Mubarak. Hard to get hards for these two. Possible switchback, and by the way, Yossi's into the lead. They're banging wheels at the end of lap 1. This is a fight we'd usually see on the final lap. And look at Matthew Hall on the left-hand side as well. Late braking from Sam Gamer, trying not to hit his teammate. Exiting turn number 1. Sam Gamer backed out and loses 2 positions. M-Racer in the hunt too.
Yeah, he is. On that sort of medium compound tyres, they will be the freshest amount of compound tyres. Sam Gamer locking back there on the back of Matthew Hall. And I think now it's the PR block on. But here comes Matthew Hall for the race lead on the back of Yossi. Running down the Kemmel straight toward Lake Combe. Big squirrel as well in the background for Marcos. He's losing a position behind Joe Murphy. But Yossi there leads just about in toward Lake Combe. Matthew Hall in second. Sam Gamer there in third. They're all on the limit as they can now come through Malmedy on the exit, coming on to the end of the end of the first sector on to lap 2. Mubarak there and Taicho are side by side. Taicho and Mubarak getting the elbows out. There is the man from F7R, he's through. Mubarak there having to defend very aggressively as well from the Flying Scotsman, and behind the American and behind as well of Axe is going great guns there on that sort of soft compound tyre. Marcos as well having to use up a lot of battery in behind, but he's just within DRS range on the back of Joe Murphy, who did actually get him on the run towards turn number 1, I believe. But Yossi there leading the way. Matthew Hall in second. Sam Gamer in third. Bit of a mix-up in terms of the tyres. It does mean, though, that we're going to have a dry race as Mubarak again, right on the attack there on the back of Taicho, coming through Stavelo.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Nose to tail throughout the entire field, bar Enzo's 5 seconds adrift at the moment. What could possibly happen on the run to Blanchement and the bus stop, of course?
Joe Murphy.
Surprise attack from Yossi. A surprise attack now from Joe Murphy. Mediums against hards on Marlon, who unfortunately has lost 3 positions simply because he's on the weaker compound of tyre at this early phase. But we're seeing Novus Racing go aggressive. We're seeing the second outplayed racing driver of Marcados go aggressive. They have to in this championship fight. And here comes Marcados actually to the inside at turn 1. Should be a very simple move. All things considered, and he has got through. Arch looking to get through as well. He's had a good start on the mediums.
Yeah, he has had a good start indeed, but here comes Matthew Hall hunting down the back of Yossi, and already Sam Gamer's going to try and get the slingshot effect to the inside line through the middle of them both. Surely not from Sam Gamer. That is absolutely audacious if I've ever seen it, and he takes the race lead. The Canadian, like Moses, parting of the Red Sea. Sam Gamer through, and he's into the race lead. Matthew Hall in second, Yossi there in third. Brilliant racecraft between the 3 of them. My God, if we're in for this, I am absolutely all for it. Ben Racer right on the back of Yossi, tries to switch the inside line on the switchback, doesn't get the job done, but Sam Gamer leads. Matthew Hall in second, Yossi there in third. Sam Gamer pretty much ending up like Moses there, and luckily he'll be getting his last supper.
Everywhere you look at the moment. Again, another surprise attack from third, and That just shows the power of the DRS, the power of a bit of slipstream, and Yossi will be licking his lips next lap and going, yep, with the DRS now available, I will look to do the same thing and just keep you guys on your toes, because I don't want the Parnell Racing drivers to get away. Then, of course, speaking in first person from F7 are Yossi, who's given it absolutely everything so far. He wants Taicho up with him. He's still sat sweetly behind M-Racer at this stage. And look, he's really gaining already on Matthew Hall. Will he go for the move in towards the bus stop? No, he does. He switches back to the racing line, and he'll leave it for the time being.
There was a little bit of a mistake there, I think, from Taicho and behind. I'm not sure if he had a bit of a slide on coming through the bus stop chicane on the entry. Mubarak there was all over the back of him, in towards turn number 1 now at La Source. He's not going to get the job done. Running in line of stern effect, everyone bar Enzo, who had that contact, I believe, maybe with Joe Murphy, looking on the replay back. He's down in 20th position, pretty much out of contention in terms of this DRS train at this stage. But lap 4 out of 22 already. We've seen drama that could take us the full 22 laps as Taicho is right on the back of M-Racer, and he's going to be slingshotted to the inside line. The F7R man makes a tiny bit of lag contact there with the back of M-Racer, running down the straight in toward Lake Calm. It's aggressive from the man, the Dutchman, who's normally aggressive in these situations. He's not this time around. Taicho's learned this racecraft from formerly in PlayStation, and now he's having to defend off the back of Mubarak, who's in turn having to defend off the back of Liam Bowman, as there's a bit of contact there between Mubarak and Taicho. Mubarak there trying to get the elbows out. Liam Bowman in the mix as well. Please make it through clean, and they're just about to. Liam Bowman now on the back of Taicho Hardy, getting as close to David Coulthard and Michael Schumacher as they did in 1998 as they come through Pouon. The Red Bull, the Ferrari side by side with the Williams, and now Aston Martin, Joe Murphy taking full advantage of that as well. Huge contact though from Taicho Hardy. He's dropped 2.5 seconds already. Not sure if he's got a little bit of end plate damage on the car. Liam Bowman though to the outside line, getting very aggressive in behind between Mubarak and Joe Murphy. Liam Bowman though is going to try and make up for good measure. Flying Scotsman might out of be serviced, but certainly Liam Bowman isn't.
Oh, Joe Murphy has just got around the outside at turn 15. This is unbelievable, and they're still going at it. Axe F1 is going to be boxed in between his teammates and Taicho, and they've wheel banged off the circuit. This is ridiculous. I don't know for what reason. Joe Murphy now sending one up the inside. This tyre disparity, we know how much carnage it's caused on the F1 23 game so far, but it's 2-3 wide everywhere you look at the moment, and Marcados is actually now ahead of Mubarak. And they've switched places again at Ferrari. Marlon down to 12th. Hazara wheel to wheel with Keke, who's side by side with Furious. This is unbelievable as they all have to filter through in towards Rouge and Radian. Oh, there's big contact there. Mercedes and Alpine agonised, and Ghost King almost going into the wall. And for the race lead, Matthew Hall takes it back for 5th place. Axe F1 has it, but Taicho is up the inside into Lake Calm. He spun him. He was miles wide of the apex, and that is not what you want to see.
And I think Mubarak has got damage there as well. It's either Mubarak or Arch that has got a bit of right side end plate damage on the car. Mubarak's defending, honestly, like it's lap 22. But it's only lap 5, for goodness sake. Behave yourself, for God almighty. Marlon and Mubarak are side by side again. Coming out through the left-hander of Jackie X. It looks like it might be Arch that has got the damage. He's got certainly some amount of damage on that car. Hazara, by the way, was 3 wide in towards turn number 1 and absolutely forced it to the inside line like Grosjean failed to do in 2012. But Furious on the back of Arch. Arch has definitely got damage. Right side and plate damage on the car for the Alfa Romeo. Very unlucky. But that is what happens when you get aggressive with each other. That is what happens, unfortunately, when the racecraft slips. And that's what exactly happened when the racecraft slips. We saw the contact, all broke loose, and still it's breaking loose with Marlon and Liam Bowman side by side. Mubarak side by side. Hazara may even be side by side towards Blanchimon and making this 3 wide if he's not careful as he now comes in towards the left hand of Blanchimon. We go again for round 2. They're ending up like fight night round 3, I think, at this point. Marlon, Liam Bowman, and Hazara. Hazara to the outside line. To be fair, Hazara has carved his way through the field with that 3 wide moment as Liam Bowman is into the pit lane. Hazara Thuni's into 7th position. How on earth he's 7th when he was, what, 15th, I think, at the start of lap 4 is unbelievable.
It could be strategical brilliance from Liam Bowman. That's if he doesn't have damage, because these guys are going at an absolute snail's pace. Wheel to wheel at every corner. No, it is front wing damage. He has had to make that pit stop. Unfortunately for him, we saw him really banging everybody that he was around. because of the difference in tyres, so the undercut will not be that effective in the end. I think Arch had some front wing damage as well. Hazaro has overtaken Marlon. It's a little bit calmer coming down the Kemmel Straight to start lap 6. I've still barely got my breath back. M-Racer and Yossi are about to make me lose it all again, as into third goes M-Racer, still in touching distance of his former team, Parnell Racing. And the Shizou man now, as they look to return to their former glories, now into third.
Yeah, F1 fan, by the way. There in the chat, there's more contact further down the field, though. Keki has spun. I think Agonize as well is involved in that bit of contact there, coming through the left-hand with Jackie X corner. Justin, the other one involved in that as well. So Justin, Agonize, and I think Keki all caught up potentially in a 3-wide battle coming through there. Matthew Waldo leading the way. PR taking full advantage. F1 fan, by the way, in the chat saying they've never heard of saving ERS. Put it this way, the front four are saving ERS. Yossi's on 81%, M-Race is on 63%, Sam Gamer on 48%, and Matthew Hall on 65%. So the top four at least are Petty Joe Murphy, 14%. Everyone else down the field. Hazara's actually saved up a bit, 36% of ERS. Everyone else, I think, has been utterly in the melting pot, as if they're being melted into, I don't know, salted caramel dairy milk chocolate, for goodness sake. But Matthew Hall leading the way from Sam Game in second, M-Racer there in third, Axe and Keki once again side by side. I think Keki has got away with that damage, luckily. It's the AlphaTauri man there in 15th position, but my God almighty, we could get once again a change for second though. Sam Gamer having to defend off the back of M-Racer. Parnell Racing certainly cooking in terms of their strategy so far, but not cooking in terms of a loss of position, because M-Racer to the outside line is surely going to get past. He's inching closer, might even make this 3 wide, and there's a full-on block effect, and there's contact down in towards Lecom. That is very unfair. Safety car deployed out on track. M-Racer there in 5th. I could see what they were doing, to be fair. Parnell Racing, but contact down the straight, unavoidable. Contact with your teammate, even more unavoidable.
Gentlemen, this is outrageous. Oh my word. I don't even know how to describe what I've just seen, because 200 miles an hour, bit of boxing in going on there, and that was only going to end one way. And unfortunately for M-Racer, he's without a front wing and has got to make an early pit stop here. But it's a good job this safety car conditions as well. Sam Gamer will have to do the same thing, and I'm not at all surprised there. I think they've got to both, well, that will certainly be sent to the stewards, and I'll let them deal with it, as I say every single week when I come and do the WOR Legacy Division. But, you know, at what point do you just say, that's enough?
Yeah, that is enough. Hopefully now, though, everyone's got out of their system and we can calm things down a little bit and actually go back to the Saudi Arabia sort of standards of driving that we had, that Reese is saying in the Discord, by the way. Jeddah was way better than this. I totally agree. Jeddah was way better than this, because at least they could drive in Jeddah, unlike here in Belgium, apparently. But Matthew Hall out on top from Sam Game in second, Yossi in third. We are under the safety car here on lap 7 out of 22. It's unfortunate. I could totally understand, from me being a driver's perspective, as Yossi nearly Tokyo drifts it in towards the bus stop chicane. That was nice from him. But Red Bull, not only that, Sam Gamer has got that broken front wing. They're double stacking into the pit lane as well. Even worse for Sam Gamer, who's going to be all the way down the field. He's got a 5-second pit stop additionally onto what would be, 3-second pit stop potentially for him. So he's going to be all the way down behind. Maybe Raptor, Ghost King, Taicho, all of them. Axe, by the way, looks like he's staying out on that in the Williams, on that sort of soft compound tyre, maybe thinking to try and take track advantage, given the amount of contact that we've seen. And that is not a bad thing to do. Gonna certainly rustle up some feathers for sure, the man in third position. But yeah, I really hope that drivers can just drive with their heads a little bit more, rather than, well, they can drive with their feet as well as with their heads. I could totally understand what was coming, to be honest, from the Parnell Racing, and if I was a driver, I would have done exactly the same thing. But closing speed was 20 mile an hour, if more, around this track, and that, I think, is what has caused that, as well as the box effect, obviously. So unfortunate, could have and should have been avoided, and I'm sure the drivers will learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can get all the angles to show you, but I think it will still be hard to come to a definitive conclusion on that one. Axe F1, I think, has every right to rustle up some feathers out there at the moment, as you said, considering he was already an innocent victim of F7R Taicho, it was, at Lecom. So he's going to stay out there, hope for a repeat of the safety car, get onto a fresh set of mediums at the end of the race, hopefully, and then come through on everybody who might well be back into the pit lane. We've got a donation! Marcel Elster has donated €1. Yeah, that will make everybody feel better.
If that euro goes towards the contribution of the driving standards rather than the channel, I'm all for it, to be honest. But Matthew Hall out on top from Yossi in second, Axe there in third, and there's Schumacher there in the chat. Schumacher won. Former F1 Esports Challengers man, of course, showing up, and I believe he's currently in F2 in console tier 2 as well. So big thank you for the donation. Joe saying his wages paid. Yeah, what are we getting? What 50? What is it? 50 cents each, I guess, or 50 whatever the coin is in euros.
Well, half of that goes to YouTube, I think. So put that down to 50 cents, and then Lucas, the majority shareholder, he'll take some of that. We'll be left with a few. That's all right. It would do.
A penny each.
Convert that into pounds.
We're going to be living on the bread line. We're going to be living on the bread line next week, I think. We'll get this every week. We're definitely going to be living on the bread line from the amount that YouTube takes, certainly. But Matthew Hall, out on top. Let's get back to the action rather than the fun and chat. Yossi there in second, Axe there in third. Axe certainly going to rustle up some feathers. Matthew Hall and Yossi, of course, putting in, and Axe is into the pit lane, so Axe is not going to ruffle up some feathers. He's going, as I saw somebody say there in the chat, yes, he is going for fresher tyres. That means he's going to be on, I would say, medium compounder tyres to the end. I have in my notes, mediums will last about 14 laps, optimal of about 10 or 11. Pretty much spot on with what I think I'm going with here with Axe. He is into the pit lane. Yellow wall compounder tyre, let's hope, is going on the car. It is indeed, so Axe is going to be on a set of mediums, going for the fresher tyres, but he's so far down the field. Liam Bowman also doing the same thing. He's going onto a set of mediums as well. So, Elvis Racing, I can understand what they're doing. Surely they're too far back to make anything happen.
Well, considering what we've seen tonight, if they stay 7 seconds behind everybody else, they're still quite likely to get points, I think, based on the likelihood of collisions. I'll say that much. Pirelli extending their contract today with F1 until 2027. They've had quite a bit of use tonight, these Pirelli tyres, and the pit stops, just as they did in Qatar a few nights ago. What a strange race that was. This is strange, but in a different way. Yeah,
definitely so. Definitely strange. Hopefully in a good way, though, as the progression, as the race progresses through, of course. Bell Ruffix, I'm sure, in the chat is going to be loving all the content that is going to be coming his way for week 13 of the League Racing Review, and you can catch that, of course, on this channel. I actually featured that in terms of commentary. It's one of the first I've watched in a couple of weeks, and I was actually on there, so starring me, I guess you can say there as well. But Matthew Hall out on top, Yossi in second, Joe Murphy there in third. Everyone now either on a set of mediums or on a set of hard compounder tyres. Like to Arch and Justin potentially might struggle towards the end of the race on their hard compounder tyres. Everyone else, I think, is going to be just a-okay in terms of the their strategies and in terms of the safety car coming in this lap, which will be on the exit, coming now through the final corner here at Campos, through the middle sector. There we go. Safety car coming in this lap. And Matthew Hall, virtual Burt Malander, he's now the virtual safety car and now can back up the pack to his heart's content. And if it's anything like console tier 1, Matthew Hall does like to get on with these safety car restarts. I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
Yeah, he's got to give that safety car a little bit of breathing room, then he will surely get his foot down. And then we do it all over again. What we've seen in the first 9 laps so far might well be repeated for the remaining 13. But, yeah, Luke saying in the live chat there, can we send some positive vibes for the drivers, please, for some clean racing? I don't know how you guys want to do that, whether it's spamming a particular number like all these different Twitch streamers will make you do. But besides, Matthew Hall has gone. He has gone early. Nobody can overtake until the start-finish line, though. So we've got a bit of a reprieve for a moment.
Yeah, we have indeed. F1 fan, by the way, saying hopefully they don't crash out the safety cat. I didn't realise there was a safety cat out on track. Anyways, Matthew Hall on the run down towards turn number 1, leading the way down in towards the source from Yossi in second. Joe Murphy there in third, on the back, dives up to the inside line on the back of the Norwegian of Hazara. The E-Tape man just about hanging off that for now. We're back on the run down the hill. He's going to try and get him in towards the Rouge and Radion, but I think Hazara is already gone. He's already 3/10 clear as he comes in towards the Rouge and Radion. Ball on right on the back of Joe Murphy as well. The Irishman and the German now going side by side, running down the straight in towards they come. It's going to be job done for Marlon. He's through and he's into third. Joe Murphy in fourth, and Ghost King now ghosting his way through the field. He's into 9th position, possibly into 8th. He might actually sell a dummy here on the back of Raptor. Raptor, though, there in 8th position, hanging on well. FRT there, well within the points actually, with Raptor and his strategy so far and his racing so far as well. But everyone clean, that's what we like to see. No quarrels, nothing underneath the safety car restart. Matthew Hall leads, Yossi in second, Marlon there in the third, and Paul, by the way, just got up on the chat, which is apparently in white mode for me. When will the next big crash happen? I'm going to say between laps 13 and 15.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Give the drivers a couple laps to settle down and they'll be at it again. Oh, there's racing at the back and FRT. Justin has gone wide on those hard tyres. And through goes NVR for their first overtake of, you'd assume, quite a few in the remaining 12 or so laps of this Belgian Grand Prix, but out in front still Matthew Hall, Yossi in behind them, 90% ERS, Matthew Hall a little bit less, down in towards 80, but he's gaining here, F7R Yossi, and he's putting to the left hand side. He did have a little look.
Oh my god!
Coming into the bus stops again, Hazara! Oh, where is he going? At the final corner, and then he was, I think, far too far back there to re-overtake Joe Murphy. So this is going to be a drag race in towards the first corner with Joe Murphy on the inside, looking to squeeze Hazara out here. And there goes Mubarak down the inside as well. And here comes Sam Gamer for good measure. 2 by 2 in towards Eau Rouge.
Oh. And Mubarak gets them both. Brilliant stuff. And now Sam Gamer trying to go around the outside on the inside line for Radion and Rouge. Please make it through safely. They do. Sam Gamer and Joe Murphy make contact though. Hazara now going to try and get out the slingshot to try and come at him. Yossi taking Matthew Hall for the race lead. Marlon as well in that mix. But it's still so close between these guys and behind. Hazara dives into the inside line. How on earth he's got that car stopped, I do not know. I want his brakes going forward. Hazara through and he's into 6th position. Huzzah for Hazara.
Yeah, these guys have got some fixations on the ERS buttons, trying to maintain some track positions. Hazara included, down into 40% at the moment. Looking at the positions gained, it was Hazara still up 8 positions at the moment. Supply Raptor up 10 and looking to keep it clean here, but he can see what's going on in front of him again. Is perhaps a little bit scared of what he might get caught up in, but some outstanding drives at the moment amongst all of the carnage, amongst all of the chaos. We're halfway through this Belgian Grand Prix. Yossi now has the lead. Matthew Hall down 2 positions on this lap, as we've seen so often already.
Yeah, definitely so. 60% used in 1.5 lap is crazy. It is indeed. It is a very hard, demanding track, though, Belgium, of course, remember. Normally, we're all gung-ho and saying ERS trains, ERS trains, ERS trains, but not quite here tonight. It is all pedal to the metal, foot to the floor action as goes King, is spun by the back of Joe Murphy. Joe Murphy, I think, left him a little bit short of room there. Did the Irishman, I just rolled on board with that pretty late, but contact was there. And in the end, goes playing there, feeling agonised now in 16th position. See what I did there? Yossi leads the way, Marlon in second. Matthew Hall there in third. I laugh at my own jokes sometimes, but it's okay. Marlon, though, the German, is on the back of the Frenchman of Yossi, or the Swissman, I should say, of Yossi, now comes up the hill in towards the Rouge and Radium. This should be easy for the NLR man, and we're going to get a new leader if Yossi is actually careful. We are going to get a new leader. It is Marlon there leading the way. Matthew Hall there staying in behind on the back of Yossi. And it's now NLR versus F7R versus PR versus OP versus PR for the race lead.
Oh, goodness me. Mubarak and Enzo going wheel to wheel there. Enzo going to lose 2 positions here because through goes Keke on the inside of Malmedy. Enzo's going to try and fight this one back, but unfortunately it seems like a bit of a lost battle. Taicho all over that inside curb at Bruxelles, trying to get through Enzo as well as he's dropped down the order following the earlier excursions. But Marlon, for the first time tonight, leads here in Belgium. How long for? That's anybody's guess, but I'm going to go not very long.
Yeah, not very long indeed. Taicho right on the back of Enzo in towards the right-hander of the Fanny chicane. He's right on the back. He's got the pace. He just needs to show a little bit of consistency, I think, in his driving so far. He's had a little bit of contact, obviously, further down the field. He's in 14th position, but he needs to make up for lost time. 87% of ERS. He's got that ERS to burn. Is he going to try and burn that ERS, though? Remains to be seen. As Sam Gamer's on the back of Mubarak, quickly try and flick on board with them as they come in towards now the right hand of the bus stop chicane. The split just beginning to happen there from Mubarak. Runs deep into the bus stop chicane, gets the car stopped, but he's going to be very sketchy on the exit of the corner. Sam Gamer's going to be all over the back of him in towards the source, but once again, we go on to lap 13. That's Marlon that leads. Yossi there in second. Matthew Hall there in third. The only penalty so far, by the way, tonight is Enzo. 3 seconds worth of penalties. I think that was coming through Blunchemon on the exit that he picked that up potentially as well. But Marlon leading the way from Yossi in second, Matthew Hall in third, and everything is going to go a little bit quiet as soon as I say that those Sam Gamers side by side, and Yossi's going to go for the race lead on the back of Marlon. So we go again in terms of the battling. Yossi to the inside line. Oh, Marlon gets the job done, doing into the race lead he goes. Marlon second, Matthew Hall in third, and Sam Gamer now making it PR3-4, getting ahead of Mabala.
Absolutely. Quite simple, that one. I'm sure that will be one of the easiest moves tonight. Liam Bowman picking up the second track limits penalty of tonight. If this was real-life Formula 1, they'd be picking up 5-second penalties following a black and white flag. But fortunately on F1 23, it's not quite that strict, and you do only have the 3 seconds to worry about. Mubarak all over the back of Sam Gamer official here. Once again, Outplayed Racing and Parnell Racing locking horns. So let's see how this one plays out. Again, despite that collision involving Sam Gamer earlier on, he is still right up behind his teammates. There will still be some team games to come.
Yeah, team games to come indeed. Plenty of action to come as well out on track. Poll, by the way, 54 of you have voted. 31% of you were wrong. 30% of you potentially going to be wrong. 28% of you are potentially going to be wrong. And 11% of you may be right. But you never know. Mubarak on the back of Sam Gamer in 4th and 5th position. The Ferrari on the back of the Red Bull. PR against OP. And also GL against F7R. Further down the field. And G-League get ahead with Enzo. So just about fighting off the attentions of Tycho Hardy there down in towards Turn 1. Tycho, of course, former PSGL. And I think he's still current PC F2 racer even. Now, of course, really mastering his craft once again on PlayStation, where he originally was, of course, former PSGL champion back in the day as well. But Yossi there leading the way, Marlon there in second. Here comes Marlon for the race lead. Wizzy said NLR win around here in Belgium. They do indeed, and Marlon now takes the lead in Belgium, running down in toward Lake Holm. We're going to get Furious on the back of Raptor as well in toward Lake Holm. Not going to quite go side by side through there, but it is a job done for the race lead. Marlon leads from Yossi in second, Matthew Hall there in third, and also Allstat there saying in the chat, his chat is working now, possibly because he donated the euro to the WOR channel.
I mean, he's paid for a privilege that he didn't get with the live chat, so might need some internal investigation into that one. But again, finally a little bit of calm in this race, but it sort of ended up that way after a few laps, and then the carnage recommenced. Hazara all over the back of Mubarak, who's made a mistake coming into Pouon. So if that DRS gap opens up, there will be a clearer opportunity for Mubarak on the next lap. He's down to already 25% ERS now as well. So Sam Gamer, I think, just in front of him, recognising that that could be a threat gone if he breaks that DRS advantage. But Mubarak has managed to get back within 8/10, 9/10 now. But Sam Gamer picking up the slipstream in front of him. Taisho has got ahead of Enzo. Axef one ahead of Ghost King as once again G-League lose positions. Mubarak, though, this could be tight. 1 second, and there is the DRS detection point. And he's not got DRS for the start-finish straight. So, again, it's as they come up in towards Eau Rouge and Radion, that will be the crunch point.
Yeah, will be indeed. Yossi on the back. Marlon for the race leaders are coming through. La Source Agonize also out of VRS there. He's going to be within DRS range, I think, though. Down in 15th position on the back of Enzo. I think he'll just be within DRS range. But is Matthew Hall going to get a slingshot effect potentially on the back of Yossi and Marlon? Yossi and Marlon are certainly going to go side by side. Matthew Hall is on the he's not on the ERS running down the straight, and you can tell he's got no straight line speed compared to the front two. Yossi now takes the race lead. For Marlon second, Matthew Hall there in third. But Matthew's just sitting there waiting patiently, maybe waiting for a little bit of contact in behind as well. And then the Middlesbrough man in third position, looking good so far. Sam Gamer in fourth. Hazara there on the back of Mubarak as well. Markadors on the back of Keki as well. But everything now just settling down. Everything all going according to plan out on track as well. Muscle also has also said in the chat, I donate more if I can race next season. Paid driver, apparently, according to him. Well, if we can pay the drivers out on track, Luke Humphries will be a very skint man, put it that way.
Well, that would be some experience if you could pay to enter WOR Legacy Division. Well, they sort of do that anyway with the entry fees and whatnot in tournaments nowadays. The prize pool as well, mainly coming, of course, from sponsorships and of course some of the WOR back pocket, but less of the finance, more of the racing, and Yossi looking to hold on to his lead here. Matthew Hall looking to get ahead of the Red Bull sister car in the AlphaTauri. You probably heard the phrase Honda Power being thrown about a lot in the community recently. This could be a prime example. It's lap 16 of 22. We've got 7 laps to go in this one. It feels like a never-ending Belgian Grand Prix, which could see the first non-Outplayed Racing or Parnell Racing winner this evening. But will it be F7R, will it be NLR, or will Parnell come through in 3rd and 4th to go on and win their 4th in a row?
Yeah, Matthew Hall again on the back. Oh, a bit of a slight slide there on the curb. Just actually negates the car slightly. Marlon once again going to overtake Yossi down the straight, and Matthew Hall straight on the EOS, but he's not closing up quick enough on the back, and Marlon will hold the lead from Yossi in 2nd. Matthew Hall there in 3rd. They're pulling away from Sam Gamer in 4th, and Barrett's on pressure as well as M-Racer forces the inside line on the back there. The Team Jazoo man ahead. Now the NLR man, Keki, will fight the way down the hill in towards Bruxelles. He's not going to get the job done down into there. Somebody that might, that was Tycho Hardy to the inside line. On the back of Enzo, G League against F7R. It's round 3 against between these guys, and Tycho, beautifully done, around the outside, coming through in towards Jackie X. Job done, and he's through and he's into 12th.
Dutch colours on that McLaren, although they will tell you it's just papaya, but nicely done by Tycho to try and redeem some more points here tonight for F7R Esports. Reminder of the championship standings: Outplayed Racing, Parnell Racing level on 215. It's a slightly altered point system here in the Legacy Division. Novus Racing sit 3rd, 49 points adrift. Then come F7R Esports, 73 points adrift. So that is sort of what we're looking at when it comes to how crucial these final 6 or so laps can be. It's still one big train really, from 1st all the way down into P14, where Enzo is still currently side by side with Marcados and has been all the way through Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. Oh dear. Enzo was he alongside there, but either way he's tapped Marcados' rear left tyre and he's lost a few positions.
No, I think it's a Churchill dog sort of moment where you just shake your head and just endlessly bounce your head up and down and say no, that is just not on. But yeah, Marcados in 15 gets away with it. Unfortunately for him, he's down towards the back end of the field. Tycho there on the back, but we are going to get a race change again for the race lead, and might be 2 changes because Matthew Hall again on the back of Yossi, overtaking to the inside line of Marlon. Is he going to get the job done? Yossi gets the lead. Matthew Hall through into 2nd, and Marlon there in 3rd. Sam Gamer there in 4th, getting back into the race. Somebody to watch out for, though, was Hazara in 6th position. He has really been the underdog so far in this race. He had that 3 wide moving towards turn number 1, which I caught on the stream, and it was absolutely brilliant from his perspective. The Norwegian, in his first race, I think, for ETA, certainly a new ETA turner for me. Former Team Norway Racing driver back in the day on F1 2021. Hazara in 6th position, doing a fantastic job. He's right there or thereabouts. Should not be discounted for potential podium here.
And there you go, he's net P5 because OP Mubarak, the car right in front of him, 4/10, has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That is a big one in the context of the championship. It's actually costing the team some pretty important points there. I think as it stands, he could drop outside of the top 10. He's still scored points due to the 1st to 15th points system, but you know, that is a huge amount that he is going to be losing when Parnell Racing are currently 2nd and 4th and going for the race win with Matthew Hall. He's almost been there and won it in Crossplay Tier 1 this season. Wasn't quite able to keep it after penalties. Here comes Mubarak. That is very late on the brakes. It's a miracle how he hasn't hit Marlon there. Drifts there on the inside as he's slightly offline with the marbles. Sam Gamer is back through. Hazara, he looked for it, didn't he? Into Eau Rouge and to the top of Radion. He'd like the position on track too.
Yeah, Marlon's looking for the position on track as well on the back of Matthew Hall. They might have to go 3 wide though down this straight. Is there an AlphaTauri shape gap? No, there's not. Beautiful blocking there from Matthew Hall. And again, slowing down slightly in toward Lecombe just to make sure he's got the race lead. And he does. Yossi there in 2nd. Marlon there in 3rd. That is how you will take in toward Lecombe. Not like earlier on in the race. But here comes Sam Gamer on the outside line now. In toward Marlon. Switches it from the inside to the outside line. Bit of contact between them both. Hazara and Mubarak. Knock on effect. And Sam Sam Gamer's got damage, I think, on the left side end plate. A little bit of winglet damage, I think, on the car. Mubarak gets away with that, and Matthew Hall, all of a sudden, in the race lead, running down in towards P1. Don't know where that spawned from. Matthew Hall now leads. Yossi in second, Marlon there in third. And now it's lap 5 repeat all over again between these three. Marlon's just sitting there in behind, waiting and waiting for the moves to happen. Yossi back through on the inside line. Beautiful overtake, that is, coming in towards the Fania chicane. Now around the outside and towards Campos goes Marlon. They're side by side. Please keep it clean. Yossi leads. Matthew Hall in second, Marlon in third. But the tension, you can cut it like a knife through butter.
You can indeed, and they were going wheel to wheel through P1 as well. It's outstanding.
Oh my God!
As is that move
What a
from
move!
Marlon, Verstappen-esque on the Red Bull, and he's going to go for 2 in 1. Oh my word! If he goes around the outside of the bus stop, there will be some absolutely sensational scenes in the live chat. But he thought better of it to have the DRS down the Kemmel straight, crucially, but. I don't even know how to describe that. I didn't get a good angle for the Sam Gamer collision. Despite that, oh my word, they're on top of each other.
There's desync as well in between them. I think Furious might have been the one on top of each other there. Sam Gamer has been spun. Sam cannot catch a break in this race. Furious can't catch a break on the back of Hazara either. Yossi now all of a sudden 1.3 seconds clear of Matthew Hall. Hazara now side by side with Joe Murphy running down the straight. The PSGL F5 champion going side by side with the current leader in the WOR console Tier 2 battle. To the inside line in toward Lake Holm. The Irishman hangs on. There's a little bit of desync I think going on in the background. Nothing on my end luckily. Furious there on the back of Hazara. Marlon there completely desync. Has he got a little bit of damage potentially in the AlphaTauri? We'll have a look in a second. Yossi though leads. Matthew Hall in second, Joe Murphy there in third. Please don't say we're going to get a very similar situation to what we had in Qatar in the last couple of laps.
Well, I'm shaking because I'm hosting and I don't want the desync to be on my end because, yeah, that could be a problem. Furious is off the track. He's trying to look for the move on Hazara. Nothing doing there. Yossi has finally started to get away. Has a little bit of breathing room for the final 3 laps of this race, but goodness knows if he's able to hold on to that. Based on that turn 1 collision, it did look like Matthew ran into the back of Marlon, and then obviously being too wide, nobody had anywhere to go. So that is just sort of shaking things up at the minute. Supply Raptor is coming for P5 here. What an outstanding race he's had from being knocked out in Q1. Our Seal, as we know him as, from Atlanta, Georgia, is looking for the move on Hazara, who breaks a little early on that inside. I'm wondering if he has any damage to his front wing as well. What is going on in behind? Keke and Enzo side by side. That is Liam Bowman pulling to the left in his side-by-side battle with M-Racer in towards turn 1. Wheel to wheel, M-Racer, goes straight on in order to not avoid Keke, then forces him off the track as well for good measure. What is going on? Yeah, the driving standards well and truly dropping once again here. Yossi there leading the way. Yossi, I think, has got the race win. As long as he doesn't pick up a 3-second penalty, it is his for the taking. It's F7R's for the taking. Taicho also going to try and steal from the man from Atlanta, Georgia. Raptor's 6th position. Taicho to the inside line. Surely going to get on the brakes, and he does. Beautiful stuff by Taicho Hardy. Through and he's into 6th position. F7R are having a good field day at the office. But 3-second penalties being picked up, quite a lot of them. I think Enzo's got one there. M-Racer's certainly got another. And Liam Bowman, I think, might have just picked up one in that as well. There's certainly 2 or 3 being picked up in the space of a couple of corners there. We'll have a look through. Enzo's on 3. Liam Bowman did pick up a penalty. He's on 6. M-Racer's on 3. He also picked up a penalty. Markedo's on 3. Ghost King on 3. Mubarak on 3. And side by side between Taicho and Hazara. These two make contact in the pass and EML. Taicho, though, all the way around the outside. Campos corner. That is an absolute class overtake from Taicho Hardy. Through and he's into 5th. The man breathes again in terms of the overtake. Raptor on the back of Hazara. Marlon trying to get back in the fight as well. But that was just world class from Taicho. Running it back to the glory days on PlayStation. He's writing some more of those glory days. Supply Raptor on the back of Hazara. He's tried it once already, hasn't he? At Blanchimont. He might well try to get into the bus stop. That is late braking from the American. Marlon. That is because Marlon's on his outside. And amongst the chaos, we are seeing some quite ridiculous moves. And that is in a good way. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from Marlon. Yeah, penultimate lap of the race. God almighty, I hope we can keep this up until the end of the race. Yossi leads. Matthew Hall in second. Joe Murphy, though, was on for a podium.
Let's put it that way. In fact, BRT are on for a podium, putting their defeat from Novus Racing to absolute good use in Pro Clubs. Joe Murphy, it might have been the other way around, but still, Joe Murphy on the back of Matthew Hall. Parnell Racing against BRT. Who would have thought this at the end of the race here in Lexi Division? Marlon and Hazara side by side, Enzo and Supply Raptor side by side. And in the end, Marlon and Hazara side by side. Marlon gets the job done on the back of Hazara. His tyres now beginning to tell. His oversteering car beginning to tell as well. Coming out of Malmedy, and that is Hazara down at 7th. Marlon Thuney's into 6th. Yossi, though, leads 24% of ERS. He's got the race in safekeeping. Matthew Hall, though, potentially could still lose the podium on the final lap, and he does not want Joe Murphy all over the back of him, the current Console Tier 2 champion, as Mubarak picks up a 3-second penalty on the exit of Malmedy.
Bunga Racing Team, just how good have they been once again? 4th and 5th last week, and there's still a podium on the cards for them here tonight. It didn't look like on paper they would have been able to go on and do this. I think both cars were knocked out in Q2. Just looking at the positions gained, 8th for Joe Murphy, he started 11th. 11 gains for Furious, he started 15th, and look where they are now, looking to take it to Matthew Hall on the final lap. Enzo on the back of Hazara, who is still trying to hold on for dear life. He has been in the wars tonight. Enzo looking to go around the outside. We've seen this move done by Marlon already. Enzo wasn't quite able to replicate it, and it's side by side between Liam Bowman and Supply Raptor. Raptor might let this one go because the two cars in front of him have penalties.
Oh my god!
But we're on the final lap of this race, and it's not over with Agonised on Keke are battling into turn 1.
Yeah, beautiful stuff from Agonised. They're going to run side by side all the way down the straight. Keke and Agonised. Somebody's going to have to bring out the... break out on this contact, and Agonised in the wall. Keke there nearly in the wall. Joe Murphy, though, goes for second. Furious going on the back of Matthew Hall as well. Back to the battle, back to the action, rather than the controversy. Joe Murphy has, in fact, died, which is brilliant. Yossi now leads the way. Joe Murphy second, Matthew Hall in third. And I really hope you can hear us now. I think OBS is back up. CPU is going through the roof. My sweat is going through the roof as well from this race. But Yossi leading the way. Joe Murphy through and he's into second. You might have missed that. Furious through and he's into fourth as well on the back of Taicho Hardy. Taicho, though, still fighting. But it's been one man sufferance, I think, in this race. And it's Yossi. F7R are going to have a race where then there's contact further down between Axe and Hazara. Off-camera shot coming through Stavolo. Biozzi now going to secure F7R the win, and a deserving win at that. They're back in the mix in terms of the championship. Yossi coming through the final corner, did it in Saudi Arabia last season, does it now in Belgium, to the line, takes the race win. Matthew Hall and Joe Murphy side by side to the line. Joe Murphy finishes second, Matthew Hall in third, and Furious is furious because he was only a 10th of a second off there in fourth position. Taicho in fifth. There's more penalties being dropping down the field. Supply Raptor in the end getting a good point haul there in ninth. For my word, driving standards, something to behold there, Joe, in Belgium. It is Yossi out on top. Joe Murphy second, Matthew Hall there in third, and everyone else's drama was Yossi's game.
It was. I can finally take a breather. I'm glad we didn't lose you there, because goodness knows what could have happened there in that final sector. And it's still kicked off between the likes of Axe and Hazara, who I know is attracting a little bit of attention from our live chat at the moment. Delight for Yossi. He must have been so grateful that it all unfolded behind him in the end. Yossi didn't put a foot wrong in that race, I have to add. If there's ever a deserving winner, it's going to be him. A guy that just oozes class on these occasions and brings F7R back into the championship fight, definitely. Novus Racing losing some big rounds, so F7R Esports, I think, have jumped the Novus Racing team into third place there as well. With regards to Outplayed Racing and Parnell Racing, they're of course level on points, and so we only need to do some very simple maths to determine their positioning following this one.
Yeah, definitely so, indeed, but it is the man of Yossi for F7R who takes the race win. Marcel also saying nice race in the chat. Yeah, it was a really good race. Driving standards, I'm sure from our perspective, in terms of the commentary team here, me and Joe, we wanted to see better action out on track, and let's just place it this way. You guys deserve that. We deserve that in the chat. Every single driver out on the track deserves to be driving as clean as possible. There's contact in any form of motorsport. You're never going to get a 100% clean race. It's just never happened. I mean, even last week, we had a little bit of contact in Jeddah. It was still an absolutely brilliant race. But top 7 of the podium goes to Yossi here in Belgium. And let's hope we can go for better driving standards next week. I will share. We'll go through the calendar in just a second. But Yossi there takes the race win. 3.5 seconds in the end from Joe Murphy. BRT's first podium of the season after a very good result this season. 4th and 5th, of course, last week. Matthew Hall there in 3rd, and potentially what could have been scenario with that bit of contact through Lake Orme. Furious in 4th, Taicho there in 5th, to be fair. If he didn't have that contact, he potentially could have made it an F7R 1-2. Very good recovery drive from him in 5th. Moran in 6th, with Enzo in 7th, Keki there in 8th, Supply Raptor in 9th, Axe ran off the top 10, then it's M-Racer, Hazara, who was very unlucky in the closing stages of that race. Marketos, again, another one that was unlucky. Sam Gamer, even more unlucky. Liam Bowman in 15th, and Ghost King, Arch, Mubarak, Justin, and Agonize ended up a lap down. I think he still finished, though, under his own volition, so we had 20 finishers in terms of the racing out on track, but it's Yossi's win for F7R. And F7R, I think you might be right, have now jumped into 3rd in the standings. We'll get that confirmed, I'm sure, toward the end of the live stream. Of course, they were on 142 points, Novus Racing on 166. Yeah, I think, Joe, your quick maths might be right.
Yeah, my back is currently hurting my ears in the game chat, so I'll try and mute him for the moment. Sorry, Mubarak, unlucky today, but I'm going to have to stop you there. Yes, F7R move on to 200 points. That is their confirmed points total, well, provisional points total, I should say, following that race. The numbers are being plugged into the spreadsheet at the moment, which is why it is just taking a moment to reveal the true gap between Parnell Racing and Outplayed Racing at this stage. But regardless, we still have a fight on our hands, and I'm really glad that F7R have come into this.
Yeah, I'm really glad as well. Remember, as well, PSR, as they were formerly known, still in the McLarens, of course, no points in Monaco. Did that last season as well, and now look where they are. 3rd position is the plan of F7R, as they're now known, there for the McLaren to take forward. Of course, next week, we go to Mexico, where we are getting close to the Dia de los Muertos. Hopefully that is pronounced right. But Mexico next week, Joe. It is going to be interesting. Autodrome Hermanos Rodriguez, I think drivers will be needing their oxygen masks, I think, in terms of the breathable air that we're going to have in Mexico next week.
Be quite thin, but I'm just more concerned about that long start-finish straight, because we've given these guys the Camel Straight, which, compared to Mexico, isn't even that long. So I'm genuinely thinking that somebody could be first at the start of the final lap and finish 10th. That is the levels of DRS overpoweredness we're talking.
Yeah, it is going to be very, very much fascinating as well. And in the second half of the season as well, we get forward into Mexico, the first race in the second half of the season. Then we go to Spain for the sprint race, of course, in 2 weeks' time, and then Bahrain on Halloween. That could be very interesting indeed. And then we have that break, and then it's the Netherlands, Japan, Abu Dhabi, which I'm not actually here for, because it's someone's certain birthday, i.e. me, turning, unfortunately, 26. But Abu Dhabi for round 13, I won't be there, but Brazil and Las Vegas, I certainly will be. They round off, of course, the season here in Legacy Division. Really hope you enjoyed it tonight. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. I'm actually glad that my laptop decided to last 2 hours and then kick us out towards the final lap of the race. But I really hope you enjoyed it. And as I say, if you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. Just a little bit of self-promotion as well. If you do want to catch more action, I believe it is the PC Tier 1 Invitational tomorrow night as well. Not for WOR, for PSGL, but the same drivers in WOR for PC, you get there in PSGL. So if you do want to tune in for that, you can. I'm not on commentary for that, unfortunately, which is why I'm actually self-promoting it for them. But we are going to end it off here. A big thank you to Mr. Joe for joining me in the commentary box. A fascinating insight, of course, as always. And hopefully we get to see driving standards better in Mexico next week. But we'll round it off here, and you can enjoy the adverts, of course, from Next Level Racing and GridFinder. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.